Our top story today, the CDC issues an alert after an invasive and deadly meningococcal disease rate began to soar in the U.S. Are you at risk of infection? We're talking about this and so much more here at the Gateway Pundits Weekend Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and the CDC issued a dire warning to the American public about a deadly disease that has begun to soar in the United States. Let's get into this. Jim Hoff reports that an urgent health alert has been issued by the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention as the United States witnesses a sharp increase in the incidence of invasive meningococcal disease. According to the CDC, meningococcal disease refers to any illness caused by the bacteria Neisseria meningitis. These illnesses are often severe. They can be deadly, often are, and include infections of the lining of the brain and spinal cord known as meningitis and of the bloodstream. Many of you are familiar with the former. Transmission occurs through close contact, it appears perhaps sexual contact, prompting urgent calls for individuals with symptoms to seek care promptly to improve outcomes with timely antibiotic treatment. With 422 cases recorded last year, this figure marks the highest annual case count since 2014. It goes on to report that in the latest update from the agency, 143 cases have been reported as of March 25th, which is 62 more than were reported at the same time last year. Those at risk include those between the ages of 30 and 60, making up over 65% of the cases. Additionally, it seems prevalent mostly in Black African American individuals and those that are people with HIV, also known as the gay community. Now, a little known tidbit as somebody with a background in molecular biology and genetics is that diseases have a source, right? We have this entire function of epidemiology or studying, pathogenesis. Where do these things develop? How do they find their way into society? And I can tell you with a lot of these STDs, they're really prevalent in Black communities and in the LGBTQ community. Like the monkeypox thing, they made us seem like we were all at risk for it, but it really is in these communities. Now, why are they in the community? Is it because of their risky sex they have? Is it because of not using the protection, like I mentioned, like some sort of a way that they're having intercourse? I don't know, but it usually is related to the proclivities of risky behavior, and that risky behavior is usually in certain groups primarily, and for the most part, if you're not in one of those groups, you don't have much to worry about. But meningitis is very serious, and if it's on the rise, you should stay alert and be ready as always. Speaking of that, I'd like to switch tunes to another type of cancer or a disease. I'm talking particularly about Jack Smith. Breaking, Jack Smith issues a veiled threat to Judge Cannon over her jury instructions in a Trump classified docs case. Special counsel Jack Smith issued a veiled threat to Judge Eileen Cannon in response to her jury instructions. Cannon gave two options for jury instructions. One of them is listed here, and the other one in the article listed below is present here. Now, these jury instructions are basically looking for a fair trial, to give Trump the ability to actually go into a trial without being guilty before being proven innocent. Now, expect the mainstream media to get upset, as Cannon seems inclined to push the case to trial, but is basically asking if she can stack the deck so Trump wins, CNN legal analyst Norm Eisen said. MSNBC's legal reporter Jordan Rubin responded with, Judge Eileen Cannon is at it again, aka giving Trump a fair shot. We can't have that. Now, Jack Smith responded to Cannon's jury instruction orders with a veiled threat saying, do things his way, or he's going to seek, I think it's pronounced mandamus, at the appellate court so that they can tell her what to do with the jury instructions. So anybody who wants to give Trump a fair shot at winning one of his cases is clearly against America. The mainstream media wants to let you know that giving someone a fair shot in court is against our values. Absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of somebody you need to pray for and someone who does support our values, Lauren Boebert undergoes an emergency surgery, is diagnosed with a rare and potentially life-threatening disorder. The GOP majority in the House is at risk. Please pray for her. Representative Lauren Boebert underwent emergency surgery Tuesday night to remove a blood clot and was diagnosed with a rare and potentially life-threatening disorder, potentially imperiling the GOP's House majority. She already mentioned that she would be going after the GOP's different district than she currently was in, but down here it says that she was just admitted the other night to a health center in the Rockies and was diagnosed with May-Turner syndrome, which apparently can interfere with a person's blood flow and could be potentially deadly. We hope that she gets well and that she's able to fight through this, but of course, Remember to be a mother and a grandmother first, which I know is her probably priority when it comes to what she's seeking to put her time into. So we don't want her to risk her health to fight for an election seat, but sometimes we have to risk our health to fight for the country. So, we'll leave that up to her and her family and her campaign to decide whether she'll drop out and fight this or if it's just a small road bump in a potentially lifelong battle with a disease. An update on a story that we went over recently. The LSU women's team leaves the court before the national anthem, but the coach later explains it was all a misunderstanding. A background on the story, basically there was this college basketball game. One of the teams leaves the court right as the national anthem is being sung. Everybody freaked out and went, okay, these people hate America. The coach explained that's not exactly the case. She went on to say that the team was scheduled to leave the court for some sort of an in-locker room discussion at a specific time, and they left at the time they were allotted to leave. Unfortunately, for whatever scheduling conflict there was, that was when the national anthem played, and the team ended up just leaving at a bad timing. Our last story today, madness, as pro-life Americans who sat outside the abortion clinic praying are found guilty and face up to 11 years in prison, including 87-year-old Eva Idle. 4 more pro-lifers that were involved in the protest outside of a Nashville abortion clinic have just been found guilty in the federal court. Their names are listed. Now, they were given up to 11 years in prison, along with 10 others now who have been charged and raided by the FBI for, I quote, praying and singing inside of an abortion clinic, which of course is, we've got to fight. We've got to stop these evil 87-year-olds who just want babies to live. Why are we in such a country where the FBI is being used to raid patriots and Christians for trying to fight for babies to live? It's because the government is satanic. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments what you think should happen, but that's an update. This is very sad stuff. My name is Elijah Schaffer. This has been another Gateway Pundit Weekend Review, where we cover the top 5 stories you might have missed in under 10 minutes. You might have seen my new program from VNN on here as well, where we're covering individual stories that are breaking and trending. Thank you so much again for supporting. Don't forget to leave a comment and share this link with friends and family. May God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.